and they built the school for the shipbuilding technologies, and they educated so many Philippine people there. Then after they built the shipyard there, now that shipyard operated by the local people, and now they started to build so many ships.
Mm-hmm.
So now the numbers of built ship are still now increasing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So now Philippines is full. Yeah, of course, the total numbers of ships are still they are far behind the Japan. But sooner, it may the rank will be replaced with the Philippines, with Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So that this is one of the small example of the long-term vision success succeeded
Right.
the project
Right.
in the two nations.
Right. But that means that building a school there is actually a commitment to that country. To say, okay, we're going to take a long-term perspective. We're going to train. We're going to teach you. We're going to make a connection. It's not going to make any profit probably in the short term to train these people, but we're here to stay.
Yeah. So that if we see the short-term vision of such kind of a plan, definitely it is not possible to get the enough revenue in 1 year, 2 years. But need more years. And of
Probably
course
10 years at least.
Right. And also of course there should be so much uncertainty for their project. But finally they succeeded.
Right.
So, and this is a small success of the one company. But if we also have to scale up this idea in governmental project, and so even for the shipbuilding company, it is almost impossible to decide to build the schools. Even for I think our company also, but we have to have such kind of broad visions, combining with the variety of the aspect of the society of that nations. In past, to be half a century ago, we Mitsubishi built our own the university for the shipbuilding.
But it's a brilliant idea because basically you're not only teaching local people, but you also get to know them. By teaching them, by educating them, you also learn from your students. So, what are they sensitive to? What makes them tick? What are going to be future risks when we are dealing with them as employees?
Yeah, exactly. So that it is almost impossible to measure by numbers, but they could get the more variety of the information, valuable information for the future business. So that such kind of way of thinking is necessary for all the Japanese company and also the government and the peoples.
Right.
It's very difficult. So while I was working at Accenture, my policy is always we need to think about the long-term vision. But you should get a short sight.
Right.
Okay.
Quarterly reports.
Exactly. So you don't get deficit at first year, but you always you consider for long-term vision. This is very important. But recently, just Sonoda mentioned, many Japanese companies just only focus on short-sighted. This is bad thing. Japanese people more than 100 years ago they had a long-term aspect, but recently they don't do that because of the not say morality. They are thinking about sort of Confucianism and righteousness. It's right things you should do. What is right things, and also just thinking about Vietnam. You think for Vietnam 10 years later or 20 years later, but you need to get profit at the next year. This sort of thinking approach is missing. This is the current Japanese company's problem, right? So.
And also one of the other obstacle to let's say to carry out such kind of long-term vision project is I think less flexibility of the you can say planning or use of a budget of the company. For example, we have the shipbuilding headquarters, but nobody can commit to build the schools for the schools. Nobody can commit. But maybe 50 years or 60 years ago, it might be possible for us to decide that, because
Right.
there would be the more flexibilities. But now most of the Japanese executives too much I can say care about the numbers based on the quality management of the business or KPIs, or maybe the compliance is also the new obstacles.
So this kind of thing, top management talent.
Yeah.
Top
And,
I don't know exactly what the company is, shipping company. I don't know who made that decision. This company's owner company or other type of the company. Why do could they be so decisive to set up the school for long term?
Since the president.
President?
Yeah.
President.
The president is like entrepreneur type or
Like we thinking about project is, you can think your project long term, short term, or combined. But building school is president decision.
Yeah. Otherwise, it is it might not be possible to do that.
well, that shipping company was the case like that.
Yeah. Excuse me.
The shipping company case was like
Wi-Fi.
it's sad. The president, the good direction,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what kind of
Yeah,
The-
I think so. I don't know much about the details, but it is possible to see the stories behind that on the website. So please Google the Tsuneishi shipbuildings.
Where are they? In Kyushu? Tsuneishi?
I'm not sure. I don't see. So, Tsuneishi.
Hmm?